Before we start the video, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm Chandresh Mahajan, who is founder and chief educator at Exergic, which is India's most trusted and comprehensive institute for online gate preparation. I got an All India rank 37 from Gate Mechanical Engineering, and I am an ex Indian Oil officer, having 6+ years of teaching experience as of now. To know more about our GATE courses, you can contact us on these details. Also, you can download Exergic Gate Preparation app from Google Play Store. The link is available in the description of video. In the Exergic test series this year, I added a question to test a very basic fundamental knowledge about resilience and modulus of resilience. And as expected, many of the aspirants were not able to solve it correctly, and not even solve it even after going through the solution and the video analysis. They were not able to accept it that this is the right concept. Okay. So I thought of explaining it even more so that every one of you can understand this concept, because I'm sure that many of the aspirants still don't know such a basic concept. The concept that elastic limit, proportional limit and yield point are three different points, I think it is known to you, right? Proportional limit, then comes elastic limit, then comes yield point, right? These three are different, distinct points. I'm sure it is known to you. Although, for the sake of many calculations, we consider all of them or maybe two of them to be the same, because they are so close to each other, they are just adjacent to each other. So for the sake of some theoretical or some numerical analysis, we may consider them as same. There will be inaccuracy in the answer, but that will be very negligible inaccuracy. This is also something that I have told you already in the video course, and I have even specifically pointed out this using an example as well, right? But still there are certain concepts for which you have to take them as separate entities, as separate points. Let me explain that using the resilience concept, and specifically we are talking about resilience here because this lecture is mainly to address the confusion that some of you may be having. Whenever we want to draw the stress strain diagram, and I am only drawing it up to the elastic limit, so 2 points will be coming: proportional limit and then elastic limit, right? Yield point, lower upper yield point, that thing I am not discussing because that is not relevant for resilience here. Okay. So up to proportional limit, it's a straight line and Hooke's law can be applied. After proportional limit or between proportional limit and elastic limit, Hooke's law cannot be applied because it is no longer a straight line, right? What is Hooke's law? Hooke's law is just a equation of straight line, right? Hooke's law tells you that the slope of this Young's modulus is nothing but stress divided by strain up to proportional limit. So if you rearrange this, you will get sigma is equal to E epsilon, and this is nothing but y is equal to mx plus c, where c is equal to 0. So Hooke's law is nothing but an equation of straight line, right? And Hooke's law therefore is only applicable up to which there is a straight line, and straight line exists up to proportional limit. After proportional limit, or specifically in this case if I say between proportional limit and elastic limit, the line is no longer it's necessary that line will be straight. Line can be curved as well. Even if it is a straight line, it may have a different slope than the Young's modulus. So between proportional limit and elastic limit, as a general rule, we do not consider the line to be straight and have the slope of Young's modulus, right? And how it varies between proportional limit and elastic limit, it depends upon material. For different types of material, it is different. So if I want to definitively say that how this line varies, I can only say it up to proportional limit. After proportional limit, I cannot tell. Nobody can tell
without conducting the analysis, the practical analysis, that how the line is going to vary, whether it's even a straight line or a curved line. All right. Basics, we already know about these things, nothing new here. When we define resilience, and I am expecting that you know about resilience, I am not here to give a lecture on resilience and modulus of resilience. I expect and assume that you know about this already. In this lecture, I am specifically telling you one thing for which you must know about resilience and modulus of resilience. Resilience tells what? It tells the ability of a material that can absorb the energy when you load it, and when you unload it, it releases the same amount of energy within the elastic range. Within the elastic range means the resilience property is a valid from this point up to the point of elastic limit. Elastic limit means in proportional limit as well as in the elastic limit, right? Hooke's law is valid only up to proportional limit, but resilience is a property which can be defined in proportional limit as well as after proportional limit up to elastic limit. And it's a general property. You can load a material up to this stress and release it. That material also has a resilience, right? Resilience does not talk about maximum amount of energy that it can absorb. Resilience is just a property, just like yield point is a property, right? So every property does not tell that it is the maximum limit or the minimum limit. Property is just a property, like weight or height, right? All these things are properties. Whether they are maximum or not, that is not defined for the property. So resilience is just a property. Even if you load something up to this point of stress, you load it and then you unload it. Obviously, within proportional limit, it is going to release all the energy. That property is also resilient. So resilience is not defined up to some limit. Resilience is just a property. But we need to know that the resilient or the resilience of a body is how much for different types of materials, right? That I have told you in modulus of resilience. So for that we define modulus of resilience. Modulus of resilience is the maximum amount of strain energy density or maximum amount of energy per unit volume that a material can absorb and then totally release it upon unloading within the elastic range. Okay. So when we want to define the resilience in terms of a number, we use modulus of resilience, which is the maximum limit. Resilience was not the maximum limit. Resilience was just a property. But when we define it, obviously you cannot define it for each and every point. So we choose the maximum point to define it. Okay, so that we can compare different materials, which one of them is more resilient if highest applicable stress is applied. Okay. So modulus of resilience is to give a number, is to quantify the resilience, and this is defined up to the elastic limit, the maximum value of strain energy density that can be absorbed up to the elastic point. And how do we calculate strain energy density? I have already told this to you that it is nothing but the area under stress strain curve. So in a way, if you want to define modulus of resilience, it is defined up to elastic limit, but when you want to calculate it, you want to put a number to it by calculating the area below the stress strain curve, then you will face slight difficulty. Why? Because resilience is defined up to elastic limit. So modulus of resilience you have to calculate up to elastic limit. But when you try to apply it up to elastic limit, you don't know that how this line is varying between PL and EL. Up to proportional limit, it's perfect. It's a straight line. You can find out the area just by the area of the triangle, right? If I want to find out the area up to proportional limit, it's just a triangle, straight line, straight line, straight line, right triangle. But between PL and EL, it is no longer a straight line. Even we don't know what kind of line is that, right? So how can you calculate the total area if you don't know how this line is varying? You cannot do it. And even if you can do it, it is not practical to do it because for every material it will be different. Right? So even though resilience is defined up to elastic limit, but if you want to calculate the modulus of resilience, you cannot do it up to elastic limit. It is not practical, it is not done unless you are into very specific research about some material. As a general discussion that we do for any of our competitive exams in the BTech curriculum, it is not done. So how do you calculate this area? You cannot calculate this area, right? But now you will do one thing. As we know that for all the practical applications, proportional limit, elastic limit are very close to each other. Even yield point, as I told you, is very close to them, right? So what we can do here, that this area which is between proportional limit and elastic limit, that we can neglect, and that we should neglect because it's a very small area. This area I have shown here as two very different and far apart points, but in reality they are like this. This is proportional limit, this is elastic limit, this is yield point. They are so close to each other, right? So you can very easily and conveniently ignore this portion of area because it will be very small, just like a straight line. So if now I want to calculate that how much will be the area under the stress strain curve up to elastic limit, what I will do? I will take the area up to proportional limit because I cannot find the area between proportional limit and elastic limit. And how do I do that? If I want to find out the area up to the proportional limit by removing this area, then I can simply use the area of a triangle. It's just a triangle, right? A triangle whose height is sigma P or sigma PL, and this is the strain up to which we are loading it. So area up to that point is half base multiplied by how much is the height. Let's write EP epsilon P here, multiplied by the height, which is sigma P. And using Hooke's law, sigma P and EP are related like that. So sigma P is equal to, or epsilon P is equal to sigma P divided by E multiplied by sigma P. So it is nothing but sigma P square by 2E. This is the modulus of resilience, the exact formula for modulus of resilience. You cannot use elastic limit here because this straight line, this equation, Hooke's law, which we have used to reach this expression, cannot be applied up to elastic limit, cannot be applied up to yield limit. It can specifically and strictly be applied up to the proportional limit, right? So if a question comes where you have been given different points, the proportional limit is different, elastic limit is given as different, yield point is given as different, question has mentioned 3 different points, then you have to take the proportional limit to find out the answer of modulus of resilience, because only up to proportional limit you can apply it. But suppose a question comes where it is not differentiating between proportional limit, elastic limit and yield limit. It is simply giving you one point. That one point may be elastic limit, that one point may even be yield limit. It can also be the case that question just gives you yield stress and the strain up to yield stress, and it asks you modulus of resilience. What you have to do? You have to replace sigma P with sigma Y, because as I told you, proportional limit, elastic limit, yield limit are very close to each other. What we did here for proportional limit and elastic limit, that we can do for proportional limit and yield limit as well, because they are adjacent points very close to each other. So if a question comes, you have no other option. It has only given you yield point stress and data related to yield point and asking you about modulus of resilience. You have to do it, because these 3 points we consider to be almost same for many analysis. But if a specific question comes, and this is the specific question that I asked in the test series by giving 3 different points, many of the aspirants could not solve, and even after not being able to solve, when this was explained in the solution, they were not able to accept it, because many reference books have not explained these differences in this much of detail, because it's something that they expect that you should think of your own, right? So it is defined up to elastic limit, but modulus of resilience, the formula strictly can be used up to proportional limit. In what case can you use it for other limits? I have told you. So I hope this difference is clear to you. Theoretical questions can be asked from this, numerical questions can be asked from this. Obviously, these basic things are asked in interviews as well.